And unions have rejected the latest offer of 9% to avoid a strike in the road freight industry. Magretia Brown-Engelbrecht, who's a labour relations manager at the Road Freight Employees Association, joins us now on the line for an update on the negotiations. Thanks so much, Magretia, for joining us this morning. Take us through the status of things as they stand right now.
Good morning. Yes, we met with the unions again yesterday. They rejected our offer that we put to them over the weekend, which was a staggered 9%, really 8.5% to be implemented in March next year with an additional 0.5% in September. That was purely made in an attempt to avoid a prolonged strike. They rejected that yesterday and made it clear that they wouldn't settle for anything less than double-digit figures. Now, economically and realistically, that's just not an area that we can go to. And we also need to understand that once a strike gets into full-blown mode, it starts costing the industry money. And for that reason, we cannot keep the higher offer on the table. So we had to revert to our previous offer for 8% for year one and a 7.5% increase for the second year. And that's where we are at the moment. As it stands, no further meetings have been scheduled.
Magretia, it's David Williams here in the studio with Alishia. You say unsustainable economically, but of course they would have said that the Lonman wage increase was unsustainable, and road freight, unlike Lonman, can hold the country to ransom in terms of transport of essential goods and so on. So that's one question for you, but another is, do you have union issues in the way that in the mining industry we've seen wildcat strikes unregulated by unions?
The thing is that, yes, of course, a strike in our industry is quite crucial as far as the South African economy is concerned. But I also think, the time has come that we need to be responsible as employers. We weren't involved at all, or I can't speak to the Lonman issue. However, it would be extremely irresponsible of us to settle at something that we know is not sustainable. And that is the higher base that you're going to have to work off forever and a day. So, we'll be starting to close down companies in this industry, and it's just not an option. As far as wildcat strikes is concerned, we represent in excess of around 650 companies across the country. So it's not just one site and one company, as was the case with the Lonman issue. And every now and again you do have these wildcat strikes creeping up. But because we're a function under a collective bargaining principle, most of that are usually contained. So the situation just at the moment is that the unions in the industry, obviously, when it comes to intimidation, they don't ask questions. So whereas we have around 300,000 drivers in the South African market, we only negotiate for 103,000 people, and not all of those are drivers. So unfortunately, that differentiation doesn't happen when people get intimidated.